And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode. Hopefully, it's another profitable episode of Grade A Power Play here on the Grade A Fantasy channel. I'm your boy, Grade A Fantasy. Let's review what happened yesterday. I figured the two games that was good enough to pick with bad defenses and possibly continue with the theme of high scoring games amongst them. Definitely, we picked the two right ones. 10, I think it was 10 goals scored in the Detroit Dallas game. There was 10 goals scored here. We got the Philip Forsberg Schmaltz power play. We had power plays on both sides. O'Reilly, Keller. There goes Brady Shea winning the set. The Evangelista singles were going off. And then obviously Shea with what? I think I had him for a point and an assist. I was hoping that he'll get two assists. Brady Shea for two assists was plus 111 plus 1100 last night. That was a nice one right there, but it just didn't come through. But Schmaltz Hayton combo, Bunting by himself, like just numerous combos over and over. Ryan O'Reilly, Luke Evangelista. Sucked that Stamkos couldn't join the spot because I had him and Evangelista in the stack. And as we go to the Detroit game, surprisingly Dallas couldn't get a power play. But like I said, I liked focusing on the power play for Detroit, and most importantly, everything hit for the for line two. Like I said, after Larkin and company, even though Larkin and that line, some people did get 2 points. The even better matchup was the full correlation. Plus, like I said, the Brinkcat Kane, and once Casper went back there, that was his best performance this season when he got really comfortable and used to line two with the Brinkcat, while Raymond and Larkin took line one. Those are their best numbers all together. Their best streak of the season after Four Nations break. Detroit was looking real good, making their playoff push. So that all correlated with into one goal. And then, of course, Casper. I treat Casper like McLeod on Buffalo. Second line center with great odds. Always bouncing in between plus 134. Obviously, they've gone down now. When I was picking Casper by himself, he was like plus 145, plus 156. McLeod at one point, when I started picking him, was plus 168 at one point. We'll still talk about him today. But let's get into the games. So now, I am picking games that as of right now, I know that I can strategize because one, we know I'm picking certain games where teams are going to have to play all out. They're all playoff scenarios. Once again, two in the East is two teams. Montreal's not playing tonight. They lost to Chicago, so it's important for the 2-point victory in the Columbus Philly game for Columbus to stay alive. That is a game that I am going to be attacking because one is two teams with two bad defenses, two teams. Well, Philly's defense is okay, but it's two teams with two horrible goalies. Do not let the Jet Greaves height fool you. Yes, he has 3 straight wins, but 2 of them are against a Washington team that one has the conference locked up. Winnipeg won the President's Trophy, so there's no reason to even battle for the best record. So, and Ovechkin got the record. So, it took them 2 games to score 1 on Jet Greaves. So, I think the way Philly offense has been attacking, they'll get the Greaves. I definitely like that. Plus, Columbus they need badly a regulation win. They can't take the 1.4 overtime. They need the points to catch up to Montreal. It's do or die and everything. Plus, it's winning regulation. If this game is tied, if they're down 1, they're most likely going to pull that goalie early. Look at it in a way as almost guaranteed points for Philly at the end if they could clear the puck and get it and chuck it right down. They have to pull the goalie 2-2. Columbus has to win this in regulation. So a lot of fun scenarios that you can take advantage of fantasy-wise and betting. But let's take a look at it here. For some stupid reason, though, I don't know if they did change it. I did do certain pairs. If this would load up properly, thank you. We have the Columbus Flyers line. For some reason, though, they did not have Boone Jenner available for a point earlier when I was doing this. But no, they have everybody else. Boone Jenner's not here. They have Cole Sillinger, Ivan Provorov, and Travis Sanheim. Kent Johnson's here. But they don't have, surprisingly, they don't have Boone Jenner, so we can't fully correlate. Good job, FanDuel. We can't fully correlate that top line. We obviously with me telling you what it was, can't fully correlate that top line. So I guess take advantage of adding some Werenski points in there. That top line of Marchenko and Marchenko, Boone Jenner and company, and Moynihan, they're gonna play a lot of minutes. I already got them early at plus 117. As we scroll up, Fantilli and Johnson. Like I said, these guys they can't lay back. They can't lay back. The defense is not going to improve, so you might as well be checking up and doing your best to score. We can't correlate Fantilli and Kent Johnson on line 2. Cole Sillinger by himself is nice plus odds. There's a lot of nice plus odds. Voronkov plus 158, and then of course Cole Sillinger and Voronkov correlated on the bottom power play, on power play unit 2, and on the third line. So there goes the correlation of that there. I don't, as you've seen, even though yes, it is a good penalty kill. It's a decent penalty kill, but the goalies are just horrible. But, I do sometimes leave when it comes to the Flyers games or whatever, I don't know why I don't touch the power plays. I don't consider that leaving money on the table. I just see, there's a lot of good plus money props with certain pairs that get to somewhat beginning to mid power play odds, like this 288 here. If we look at other combinations, as you can see, I got Bobby Brink solo, Cates and Brink plus 287. Cates and Forrester plus 260, 212, Brink Forrester. Tippett is plus 116, 140. This line has been great. The line 3, Tippett, Paling, plus 223. I definitely like these options here. Just laying off the power plays. But if you want, when it comes to the power plays, I'm pretty sure the power plays are amazing odds to take a look at. The lowest odds are plus 270 by Moynihan and Werenski. And then it goes all the way up to Bobby Brink plus 470. So maybe something worth a little sprinkle. Let's get to the next game. We'll stick with playoff implications. I like this game because it's a fully healthy Minnesota Wild team going against the 10th most amount in penalty minutes in Anaheim at 719, plus now dropping down to a bottom 5 penalty kill at 73.6. So with this, they don't have everybody on the top line either. I was only really able to do Ek and Boldy. Kaprizov is minus 420. So I did power play points. Boldy and Ek plus 11. Let's take a look at that game in itself. Did they add anybody? Like I said, there's more stuff to add in points, but yeah. Okay, that barely moved. It was minus 420 when I first had it, so other than that, there's not really anybody else to really correlate with anybody. They don't have Gaudreau to go with Johansson. Mark Rossi, if I'm not mistaken, no, it would be Gaudreau. I mean, Johansson and Zuccarello, you could link up. No power play correlation, but they do play line 2. And Marco Rossi doesn't have a Gustav Nyquist to put here or Foligno. So pretty much what I did was stick with the power play goal, with the power play points on one side. It's a 5-forward power play, so you could possibly link up some things here, what's available. But they only had Ek, Zook, Boldy, and Kaprizov. The 5th person that's missing is, they don't have Marco Rossi here. Let's see if they added him, because he's the other power play. Like I said, they go no more Spurgeon or whatever the case is. They're going with 5 forwards just like Toronto is. Yeah, it's still those 4 up top, and then it goes to the Anaheim side. But here is something interesting. Going for the season sweep, and he's just absolutely dynamic. It's a smart risk. I wish it was at least plus 500 for it or more. But this is Kirill Kaprizov. I think the books know how great he is, and I think the books know how amazing he has played against them. Kirill Kaprizov has 2 games against them. They're going for the season sweep in this one. He has 3 points in both those games. So him for 3 points solo is plus 420. You can only parlay one 3-point market. So something that could work would be something like Kirill Kaprizov. And like I said, he is on the power play with Ek and Boldy. So maybe taking something like Ek for 2 points with that is something that I wouldn't mind playing with. I'm still thinking about it. But because, FanDuel didn't put everybody there, this is another game that's limited, but Minnesota needs a win. St. Louis needs a win. There's something about that St. Louis game that just screams like it's going to be low scoring. Because when it comes to the competition, if we look here, St. Louis needs a win, but it's against a very good Utah team. And those games have been close. Every game has gone under the 6.5 and a 6 sometimes. So you have that there. You have Calgary you have to watch out for, but the only thing I know why I like Calgary more now is because it's Samsonov, not ATL starting. That got confirmed. It's not confirmed yet who's going to sit, because like I said, there are teams that are locked into their spot, not doing nothing, healing up injuries and giving guys basically a mini bye week, if you could say, like 4 or 5 days off before. Like I said, there are teams that are finishing their season today, and then there's teams that still have games tomorrow and Thursday as well. But there's something about that Utah game, but it is a good. Both teams have good penalty kills. Utah does give up a lot in penalties. Like I said, we did pick on Utah, and then benefit from Utah just a couple of nights ago in the Nashville game. But a good team like that playing spoiler, if anything, the power play points should be some good odds. As you can see, the books know somebody like Robert Thomas, but it does jump all the way up to like Buchnevich, Bolduc. You got Fowler. Like I said, a lot of minutes. The power play opportunity is there, so that is something to look at also. And then another game, it doesn't have playoff implications, but it's a game that I like because it's the possibility of like some high price risk that has great percentages. Also going for the season sweep like the Wild is Toronto. Toronto is into the playoffs, but they're still battling, and they have 2 games left for this. They're still battling for for division play. I think division standings to clinch the division. They're in the playoffs, but they haven't clinched the division as of yet, so they're still battling the Lightning. I think it would be good if Toronto outright beats Buffalo to get the 2 points, and then they should be good to go. It's still too close to call, obviously, but having 2 points is definitely something that will help them in their conquest. They're currently 4 points ahead. Both Toronto and Tampa have 2 games to go. Both have played 80 games. So within the next 3 games, both of these teams will be playing twice. In the other games, there has been pretty much total domination by Toronto over Buffalo over the season. Yes, Buffalo is doing what they've done the last 2 seasons, play very well at the end of the season. But here's the thing. If you've been watching my episodes, what have I told you? The key is the fact that it's James Reimer that's been starting. And guess who got the nod today? Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Now, could you be wrong? Yes, because sometimes if you sit a guy down, he gets to reconnect with himself and get refocused. And hey, he plays a little bit looser. Buffalo's not playing for anything. They believe Pekka Luukkonen should be the guy, so Pekka probably has something to prove here, whatever. Now, the way James Reimer's been playing, James Reimer's the type that makes you think, I wonder if Dustin Wolf makes the squad, or do they try to trade that youngster and keep Reimer with Pekka Luukkonen? Anyway, either way, Pekka Luukkonen, Dustin Wolf, Toronto has smacked up Buffalo no matter who's in goal. Plus, Buffalo is now the heads-on leader. 829 minutes in penalties. They're number 1 by a decent margin. 76.4 penalty kill. So, what do I like here? Let's take a look at it all. The first things that I did early this morning, all the power play points, they're viable. Once again, this is another team like Minnesota. Taking 2-point combos works because you're having 5 forwards also on the top power play. Here, no defenseman is quarterbacking this power play. And then, obviously, what do I like? Taking 2 points each, and then, obviously, good old Tavares in the Atlanta plus 591. Matthews Marner plus 355. And then on the other side, and I'm still trying to work out another combination with Matthew Nyes as well. But on the other side, we're still going to stick with this line. I'm just waiting for line combinations to see if I can combine McLeod and Tuck. McLeod and Peterka has been great. He was on my cover sheet a couple of episodes ago. McLeod is still plus 134 in money. So plus 228 for him and Peterka. Now, on the right side, they finished the last game with Tuck to the right side. What has it been in the past 2 weeks that I've been betting this McLeod bet at least? McLeod and Peterka to his left, but to the right they've had either Jack Quinn, sometimes they've had Zach Benson there if they decide to jump Zucker up. They finished the game with Tuck there. If Tuck is there, then we'll be able to do something like this and have the full line 2 fully correlated, and then you have JJ Peterka and Tuck not only power play 1 correlated, but you'll also have them as a line combo as well. So right now, McLeod is still plus 134, so that didn't move. And then him and Tuck is plus 214. You have to wait for, obviously, to see if he opens up as that. And then if he is on that line, then you could do Tuck and Paterka plus 150. Plus they have the power play combinations there. I definitely like that on both ends. Toronto, once again, we've done it before. Toronto is a penalty kill that we can attack. So I will be taking a look at some of those power play odds there. I'm still working on some things myself because I haven't put those power play odds in. It's been mostly Toronto because Toronto has pretty much smacked up this bad defensive team, even though Buffalo is playing well. But it's Pekka Luukkonen at net, so we're going to take advantage. And the power play odds are definitely juicy on the Buffalo end. Lowest is Dahlin at 250. Even Tage is plus 300 against this subpar penalty kill. Then you got Tuck, Paterka, and Zucker. So I'll definitely be adding that there. A lot to look at and a lot to enjoy in the 7 o'clock. A lot of games at 7 o'clock. I think it's a 10-game slate, and if I'm not mistaken, half of this slate is in the 7 o'clock block. If I'm not mistaken, 1, 2, 3, 4 games at 7, and then you got 2 at 2:30. So 6 games before even 8 o'clock jumps off. Now, once again, Vegas, Calgary. It's something that you should probably jump on because teams that sit players and just bring it up last minute AHLers, they just get smacked. I like Calgary at home. The Coronado, Kadri, we'll just take a look at that before we close this video. Combinations like Coronado, the Kadri Huberdeau, they are without a doubt right now. If you could find out the news before the odds move of who exactly will be sitting, like I said, most likely Eichel will be sitting. There's a lot of people here that don't have markets, but the prices on the Calgary players are pretty good. And once again, it's Samsonov, not Adin Hill. Even Adin Hill, with a bad defense in front of him, can suppress some offensive pressure from Calgary. So that would mean like you have more opportunity to cash on some bigger props. But some of these 1-point props are pretty good. Plus 124 for Kadri and Huberdeau. It was a few nights ago that we did cash in on that second line. If you're looking at stuff like Coronado and Coleman, Uyghur's even money for 1. Or you could go Coleman and Backlund. Both of them are plus money. That might add up to maybe like plus 274 if I'm not mistaken. 244. There's a lot. There's something to take advantage of for that game later. That game is not till 9 o'clock, so you probably won't hear, unless you hear news between now and like 7, 8 from a reporter. You're gonna have to wait for ice rushes and try to catch those odds as fast as possible. Because if they're sitting down, basically everybody and that's what FanDuel sees. Because right now, Eichel, no, you don't see Eichel here. You don't see Stone. You don't see obviously people that are hurt like Pietrangelo. You still got Hurdle. You still got Dorofea. But the big guns, the main guns, I don't see no Hannafin here. I just don't see it. So they're expecting a lot, which is why I'm still surprised, even with the news of Samsonov, I'm surprised that the odds still look like this. And right now, Vegas is not. But Vegas is closing in on being a underdog, a plus money underdog right now. Those odds are slightly changed. They just haven't favored. They just haven't like flipped all the way. But there you have it. Like I said, I still got more things to do and figure out in the Toronto-Buffalo game and things like that. Even though they're playing for the division, you just always got to make sure. Now, I should have waited maybe, but I feel pretty comfortable that the Toronto players will play. If some people sit from Toronto, then boom, some of those become voided, and then they just become single bets, and we just got to go from there. And then obviously, if they don't play, automatically power play odds get voided and go right back into the account. But the other 2 games have strong playoff implications. People must win. Like I said, in the Minnesota game, they don't have everybody to fully correlate pairs, but I am interested in taking Kaprizov for 3 points. He's done it twice already against Anaheim. It's a 5-forward power play. They need to win, so it's not like they're only going to take the let off. They're only going to take the pressure off if they're up like 5-1, 6-2, something like that in the third period. And with Anaheim, the way they take penalties, it could be something where they could be up by 4-1 and then maybe score a 5th goal somewhere in the third, and then take it easy on them. Because it's something that Minnesota has to win. Minnesota has to win. Philly has no problem playing spoiler to Columbus, who has to win in regulation. Like I said, I gave you some of the St. Louis pairings, but like I said, out of everybody, they have the toughest job because when it comes to everybody that needs to win for a playoff spot, St. Louis has the toughest opponent, even though they probably have one of the better power play matchups tonight. But the thing is, St. Louis power play unit is going against us above 80 penalty kill. When it comes to everybody else, Anaheim is a 73% penalty kill. Columbus has a bad penalty kill. Philly's penalty kill is weird because when you look at the stats, the players in front do a pretty solid job of blocking shots. Philly's just a victim of bad goaltending. And then, of course, like I said, another good solid penalty play is Toronto at Buffalo. But, you know, of course, you have New Jersey at Boston. But I'm not going down that well again, which means you should bet Jack Hughes for 2 points because I always seem to miss it. But that's also danger because Jersey has not been able to score lately. And Boston has no problem just, grinding out games because they can't generate. It's just basically that top line. That's basically it. But that is all I have for you today. Thank you for tuning in. This is your boy, Grade A Fantasy, with another episode of Grade A Power Plays. Let's finish the regular season strong with another great night tonight. Enjoy the hockey. Good luck. And I'm signing off.